Good morning all of you. In dual nature of radiation and matter, this is integrated video fourth one. In it, in yesterday class already we learned about a small topic that is irrespective of that energy. From that already we measured one energy problem. Here, irrespective of that data only here we are learning all the photons a particular frequency or wavelength possesses same energy. All the photons particular frequency or wavelength it possesses same energy. Okay, remember that one. Irrespective of that intensity. Here, this is most important point. Now, the energy liberated by a photon with UV light how much? With visible light how much? If you want to learn that one, here the energy of photon for visible light, how much it is? It is visible light, visible region. If the light is as in visible region and it will fall upon to that metal surface, then photons are emitted. That energy, that will be how it is 3.1 eV to 1.8 eV. Suppose the incident of light will be, you can take it as a UV light, ultraviolet light. You can take it as ultraviolet light. Then it is nearly, how much it is? It is approximate 12.4 eV to 3 eV. Remember these points, 2 points, most important. Okay, irrespective of that energy, one more problem we are doing here. A monochromatic source of light operating 2000 watt emits 4 into 10 power 20 photons per second. So, energy of photon E equal to what you can write? Power how much they give? 200. So, 200 by how much of photons they give? 10 into 10 power 20 photons they give. By using this data, you can measure the energy. How much it is? Energy E is equals to this 10 power 20 will move up. Okay, then here 4 will become here 50 times. So, energy E equal to 5 into 50 in it, we will write one more step. So 50 into 10 power minus 20 here it will move up, then it will become 10 power minus 20. Then E equal to, what you can write? 5 into 10 power minus 19. Energy na? So you can write in terms of joule. Okay? That will be units are nothing but joule. Now energy we measured for each photon. Now what they are asking? Find the wavelength of light. How can you measure it? Already energy in your hand. Then energy formula already we know in terms of wavelength lambda. Then what you can write? Energy E equal to h nu by h nu or hc by lambda. Already we know that. From that lambda equal to hc by E, you can write that. Say or no? E equal to h nu. This nu we can written as E equal to hc by lambda. From that lambda equal to hc by E. We know this one. Now to measure the lambda equal to h value, already we know that. What is the Planck's constant value? It is approximate 6.63 into 10 power minus 34. Already in a previous class we discussed and remember that value. Planck constant h equals to 6.63 into 10 power minus 34 and velocity of light c equal to what is the value it is? C is nothing but 3 into 10 power 8. Okay, now energy of photon E already we measured how much it is? 5 into 10 power minus. If you solve these all, how much you get the answer? It is approximate 4 into 10 power minus 7 you can get that. 4 into 10 power minus 7 you can get that. Then if you want to convert it into nanometers, then multiply here 100 and divide with 100. The divide 100 will move up, then it will become 10 power minus 9. Okay, so lambda equal to 400 nanometers. Direct step I wrote. Clear? Very simple. Clear na? See here, all the photons for a particular frequency or wavelength, it possesses same energy irrespective of intensity. Remember that point. That with UV light and visible light, the energy of photon with visible light, okay, the first point will be given as for visible light and second one is given for UV light, okay. So with visible light it is a nearly approximate 3.1 eV to 1.8 eV. For UV light, that energy of photon in between nearly 12.4 eV to 3 eV. Okay, that energy only here we are calculate. First they gave some power to 100 watt, emits that photons 4 into 10 power 20 photons per second they gave. By using this data we will measure the first energy, then after in this sum what they ask, find the wavelength. Okay. So in monochromatic source of light operating, so 200 watt, so 200 by number of photons per second, how many? 4 into 10 power 20. So that you can write here. This 10 power 20 move up, then it will be become 10 power minus 20, and 4 here in 200 it will be become crossed as 50. Now finally E equal to 5 into 10 power minus 19 joule. Okay. Now already energy E equal to H nu, already you know that nu is nothing but C by lambda, already we know that. From that lambda equal to what you can write, Hc by E. That Hc value already we know that 6.63 into 10 power minus 34 into 3 into 10 power 8, or instead of this all value already we know that 12,400 nm angstrom, already we know that. If you want to be substitute that also you can write as in short form. Okay. Finally lambda you can get 400 nanometers. 400 nanometers. After this numerical, next concept is Einstein's photoelectric equation. In this topic, it is the most important one. Einstein's photoelectric equation. To explain before that, we need to know about some important points in it. To explain the photoelectric effect, Einstein considered, what he postulates, what he confined the strong words. Light consists of particles, that particles are called photons. Light consists of particles, that particles are called photons. He strongly postulated the words. Okay, he strongly confined the words that are called postulates. Okay, so Einstein, what he said, light consists of particles, or light consists of made of particles. That particles are known as the photons. If it have frequency nu, then energy of photon, each photon is, so energy of each photon E, okay, with a frequency nu is E equal to, energy means letter E, so E equal to what you can write, H nu, clear? So E equal to H nu. Suppose if I want to fall a light onto the metal surface. This metal surface receives by some energy. Then after the electrons are ejected from the metal surface. How much minimum energy required to eject the electron? How much minimum energy required to eject the electron? That minimum energy is called work function. Okay. The definitions already we learned. That once again in Einstein's equation we will learn. See that the minimum amount of energy required to eject an electron from a metal surface. Eject an electron from a metal surface. This is known as work function, and this is also be called as threshold energy, and it is also be called as threshold energy. Work function will indicated with phi naught, or in old textbooks it will be as a W. How can you write? No problem. Okay. Generally, according to new NCERT textbook, it represent with phi naught. Okay. Or threshold energy. Here I am writing W. Both it will be work function W or phi naught. Okay. The minimum frequency of radiation required then only the electron will eject from it. That minimum frequency is called threshold frequency. If the light frequency will be below the threshold frequency, then electrons does not emit from the metal surface. It cannot come out from the metal surface. So how much of minimum frequency? One of the photoelectric laws, also we will discuss that one. With the minimum frequency of light, then only the photoelectrons are eject from the metal surface. If not, no photoelectric effect takes place. Already we learned about that. Say yes or no? Here about the threshold frequency only one more point they give. The minimum frequency of radiation required to eject an electron from a metal surface. This minimum frequency is called threshold frequency. It represented with nu naught. Okay. Here the work function will be depends on work function of a metal depends upon nature of metal. Irrespective of nature, that work function will changes. On which factors it independent. So the work function of metal not independent on frequency and intensity of radiation. Frequency and intensity of radiation. Clear? These are 2 points are most. Work function of a metal depends on nature of material. Metal to metal, that work functions will changes. Clear? Work function of a metal is not depend upon frequency and intensity of radiation. Why? Because these 2 points are important. Furtherly, we will take one drum. For that drum, we will take some different photoelectric materials. That means alkalic metals that will be arranged as surrounding by the drum. Now light is incident upon the metal, then the drum will rotate like this. Okay. These we will observe there. So here, in a drum, one side we have a metal of potassium, sodium, like that different alkalic metal. If you want to be arranged around the drum of rotating, then each and every metal releases some electrons because of photo metals they are. Okay, alkalic metals they are. So from alkalic metals means which have more free electrons that are called alkalic metals. Okay. There potassium, sodium, different natures we are considered. That is only here. The work function will be depends upon nature of material. Does not depend upon frequency and intensity of radiation. Frequency and intensity of radiation. Okay. Clear na? These 2 points are most important. Next one is here to learn about Einstein's photoelectric equation. Previous already we discussed what it is. With a certain energy of light will incident upon metal surface. In that metal surface, electrons will receive a minimum energy. Okay, that minimum energy must be greater than incident energy. Clear? Then only electrons will eject. That means, for example, 10 MeV electron volt, if you want to be incident in it, for to receive the electron, to gain the energy of electron, 1 MeV it is enough. Then remaining 9 MeV will be given eject the electrons. I understand just how much a small example I am discussing with you. Clear? Very simple. With the hnu frequency, if I want to be incident a light onto the metal surface, then the electrons are receives the minimum energy. After that it will in excited state. Then after the electron will eject from the metal surface. Electrons eject from the metal surface. This phenomena is already we discussed photoelectrons. Okay, that electrons are called photoelectrons. This phenomena is called photoelectric effect. Already we learned about that. Say sir. Now Einstein is what he said. See that when a photon of energy hnu will be placed upon metal surface, then what happens? Some energy will be absorbed by electron. How much energy it will it is equals to work function, the minimum energy required to emit the electron. Okay, so the work function of energy absorbed by an electron. So the difference will be gives. Okay, that only here I am giving here. See that the energy at least is equals to work function, that is phi naught. So here h nu is greater than that work function, then only electrons are eject. If it is below, no photoelectric effect takes place. Already we discussed it so many times. Okay, it is used up in liberating electron from the metal surface, and difference h nu minus phi naught is equals to the difference which is it can utilize that energy. It can utilize to increase the kinetic energy to get the maximum. Okay, so that is only. So maximum kinetic energy of that electron. So the difference h nu minus phi naught is equals to maximum kinetic energy of that electron. That means half m v maximum square that equal to difference. The difference means h nu minus phi naught. This phi naught take this side, it will become plus, then h nu equal to phi naught plus half mv square. Or one more way you can write as, this is the same, you can written as E equal to h nu naught plus half mv square, or simply I will write as Ke max. Okay, one more way I am writing that equation same. E equal to h nu naught plus Ke maximum. Okay, how can you write? Both are same. Okay, this equation is called Einstein's photoelectric equation. In it, phi naught means threshold frequency. So what I wrote here, h nu equal to energy, E is nothing but h nu. So h nu equals to work function phi naught. Phi naught means it is nothing but h nu naught plus maximum kinetic energy, that is half mv maximum square. Clear? This is Einstein's photoelectric equation. Now in it, see here, in it that means Einstein's photoelectric equation that will represent as E equal to phi naught plus kinetic energy maximum. Okay, or h nu equal to h nu naught plus half mv square. By using this equation, we can verify the observations of laws, okay, or simply experimental observations. In it already we discussed one small point related to that. Here we are discussing one point, that is if incident frequency is greater than threshold frequency, then only photoelectric effect takes place. Says or no? If not possible, no photoelectric effect takes place. For that, Einstein's give a little bit different explanation. That is, if you want to be right, this h nu naught to take this side, then it will be become as h nu minus h nu naught. If this value will be as positive, positive means this value will be more and this value will be less. That means nu is greater than nu naught. I understand. This value will be more than this one. That means kinetic energy will be getting positive. I understand. If nu naught will be less than nu, then no photoelectric effect takes place. That only here explained. See that. From that first equation, that is Einstein's photoelectric equation, what it is? H nu equal to h nu naught plus half mv square maximum, or simply E equal to phi naught plus kinetic energy maximum. Now by using that one, this h nu naught I will take this side, then kinetic energy maximum Ke maximum equals to h nu minus h nu naught. Okay. For this photoelectric effect equation, that photoelectric emission takes place, kinetic energy of electrons must be positive. If it must be positive, what is the condition? It must be follow h nu is greater than h nu naught. Here h, both are same. So remaining what we have to consider, that are nu greater than nu naught. That are nu greater than nu naught. That means incident frequency, this is called incident frequency of incident radiation. Okay, it is greater than threshold frequency of incident radiation. That only here they gave it proof that Einstein's proof that for photoelectric emission takes place from a given metal frequency of incident radiation nu must be greater than threshold frequency. Must be greater than threshold frequency for that same metal. Clear? If the frequency of incident radiation is less than threshold frequency, what happens? No photoelectric effect will take place. No photoelectrons are not emitted. Clear? That photoelectrons are not emitted. That means no photoelectric emission will take place. How much intensity if it will fall, even though that minimum frequency that are already we discussed about that minimum frequency that we can call as a threshold. Without the threshold frequency, electron does not emit from the metal surface. Clear? So the frequency is less, even though intensity and more time if you be send incident light, even though there is no photoelectric effect takes place. That explanation given by Einstein for the first observation. Clear? Like that, by using this equation we can learn the remaining observations also. Now second one is here from equation 1 it follows that maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons, so nu greater than nu naught, then only, that means depend upon its frequency. So kinetic energy of photoelectrons depends linearly on frequency. That means what he proves, the maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons increases as the frequency will increase. Frequency of incident radiation will increase. Clear? If frequency will increase, what happens? Kinetic energy of photoelectrons will increase. Are you understand? That point only proved that. Clear? Suppose if frequency is increases, okay, kinetic energy will increase. That means speed of particle will increase. Suppose the maximum kinetic energy of emitted photoelectrons are independent of intensity. Number of photoelectrons means it will depend upon intensity. Maximum kinetic energy depend upon frequency. I understand. If incident frequency is above threshold frequency, how much it have frequency, it will give some maximum kinetic energy. Does not number of photoelectrons. If intensity will increase, the number of photoelectrons will increase. I understand. That's why it does not depend. It is independent. So maximum kinetic energy is emitted photoelectrons is independent of intensity of incident radiation. That is the second point what he proved. Okay. This is the second observation. Next one is, see here, most important. If frequency will increase, kinetic energy will increase. If intensity will increase, photocurrent will increase. The 2 points we need to give more clarity. If not, we have a little confusion in between the 2 points. Clear? Frequency will increase, incident light frequency will increase, kinetic energy will increase. Why? Because the speed of electron will increase there. If intensity of incident radiation will increase, then what happens? Number of photoelectrons are ejected. Why it will be ejected? Einstein give a small explanation for that. See that according to Einstein's equation, the photoelectric effect arises when a single photon is absorbed by a single electron. One single proton will be absorbed by a single electron. One single photon, not proton, photon absorbed by a single electron. Clear? So number of photoelectrons ejected will be larger if intensity of radiation will more. This is because, why? Because intensity of radiation is directly proportional to number of photons per unit area per unit time. It will increase. That means photocurrent will increase. That point only here below that they give. Hence, intensity of incident radiation increases or larger than number of photoelectrons is more. That is, photocurrent will increase. Are you understand? If frequency will be more, then what happen? Kinetic energy will be more. Remember that point. Okay? Kinetic energy independent to intensity. Now, photocurrent increases when intensity of incident light will be more, then photocurrent will rises. Kinetic energy does not. Okay, clear? These are 2 points. Don't get confused and remember more and more and more. And fourth one is, already we know that if how much intensity of light will incident, immediately that energy receives by the photon, free electrons, and it will come or eject as in the form of photons, means the photoelectrons. Say yes or no? So this process is instantaneous process. This process is instantaneous process. That fourth observation he explained like that. There is no time gap between incident light and electron emitted, so it is called instantaneous process. So Einstein explains like that their observations. Okay, and some other important points in it. See here important points that are which emits the electrons. That means which metals are more preferable to eject the electrons. That are called alcoholic metals. What is meant by alcoholic metals? Or you know, free electrons are more and more in alcoholic metals. Say yes or no? So that's why we will prefer alcoholic metals can cause photoelectric effect with visible light. That's why they gave one important point here. Clear? That work function of alcoholic metals, that alcoholic metals are around 2 eV. That means cesium metal, that for work function is 2.14 eV. It is a low value. Already this point we discussed. It is a high value for platinum. Okay, platinum work function value 5.65 eV. This point already in previous class we discussed. In between some other metals also be here given. See that the work function of alcoholic metals, cesium will be 2.14 eV, potassium will be 2.3 eV, sodium will be 2.75 eV, and aluminium will be 4.28 eV, and copper will be 4.65 eV, and mercury will be 4.7 eV, and nickel will be 5.15, and platinum will be 5.65 eV. These are all the work function. Already we know that work function phi naught equal to what you can write? H nu naught. Nu naught in terms of velocity of light, how can you write? So nu naught is nothing but C by lambda naught. Say yes or no? If you want to be substitute here, you can get Hc by lambda naught. Here nu naught is threshold frequency and lambda naught is threshold wavelength, and lambda naught is threshold wavelength. Clear? Next one is, see here different forms of Einstein's equation. Already we know that Einstein's equation, that is Ke maximum, kinetic energy maximum, equal to energy minus work function. Energy minus work function. What about energy here? Energy is nothing but H nu, already we learned. So Ke maximum equal to H nu minus H nu naught. Okay, nu naught is a threshold frequency, nu is incident frequency. Okay, clear? Now kinetic energy maximum we can written as Ke maximum. The Ke maximum we can written as half mv maximum square. Clear? So half mv square is equals to h nu minus h nu naught. Already we know that nu equal to frequency nu equal to c by l lambda. Already we know the relation. Okay, by using that relation, here nu is nothing but a c by lambda and nu naught is nothing but a c by lambda dash. Clear? So finally what we can write, half mv maximum square equal to hc by lambda minus hc by lambda naught. Clear na? And one more important, that is, if sufficient potential will be applied, then electron get accelerated. By using this concept, already we know that Ke maximum equal to EV naught. Here EV naught is nothing but a stopping potential. Clear? So what can I write now? Instead of this kinetic energy maximum, what we can write? EV naught. So EV naught equal to E minus phi naught, or EV naught equal to h nu minus h nu naught, or EV naught equal to hc by lambda minus hc by lambda naught. Here stopping potential will be in terms of volt, then energy is also be in terms of joules. Clear? That point we want to be remember. Stopping potential in volt is numerically equal to maximum kinetic energy of photon electrons in electron volt only. Sorry, maximum electron volt only. Maximum kinetic energy in electron volt only. Stopping potential will be represented in volt. Okay. So kinetic energy means Ke maximum, that will be represented in electron volt. Don't forget these points. Okay. Potential always represent volts here. Kinetic energy will represent for photoelectrons represent as in electron volts. Clear? Remaining we will discuss in next video. About these concepts we will solve numericals. Clear?